So I'm
Oh,
gonna this academy is going to be about how to play in a team, because the biggest problems we have in these random teams that we're doing on all the tournaments and the in-house games is that people don't know how to play in a team, and there's so much problems because people have different skills and they could potentially do well, but they need to understand how to play with different skills, because ideally everyone will have the same skill, but we don't. There's always better players, there's always worse players, and it's not so hard to play with different people, but you gotta know how to do it right.
DJ, I'm one of the players who do not know how to play in a team. I'm
No,
one.
okay, so maybe this will help you a little bit. Um, so first things first, I'm going to send you a link. Uh, what I'm going to show you is games with the team that I did for the Battle Cup, and the team was basically the same, but the only difference was that the captain was different. Now, if you can click on the link on the channel, those are the games
Yeah.
that I played in 2 different days.
Okay. So what am I seeing here?
So,
I see Wizard, Keeper of the Light, Axe, and Bound.
yeah, so those are my heroes, but my particular heroes don't matter that much. If you would click on a bounty game, for example, the first game, so when you have a random team, like a bunch of different players with different skills,
Holy shit.
um, you gotta question first who is the best captain, and it's the most difficult thing is to choose the captain. But either the captain needs to form the team and say, okay, I'm the captain, or somebody needs to tell the team, like when we're doing in-house games or tournaments, the captain need to be assigned, and it needs to be somebody that we trust that he's a good captain and he knows what he's doing. And here's an example of the first game, and what I'm doing is something very basic. Now, I don't know those guys except Big Pun. If you can see, we're on the dire side.
Yeah, I saw. He was
Yeah.
winning.
So it's me, Digital Blade, it's Big Pun, and we have Kiske, 5 Nuken, and Apache. Apache is also from Fever, but I haven't played that much with Apache. For example, I don't know exactly what he was playing or whatsoever. So, and there's 2 guys that I completely don't know, never played with them before. They are people that just wanted to play in the Battle Cup, and they Kiske contact me, and 5Nuken is his friend, and generally the team should have been a 3K team, but most of the players are in 2K, I'm in 3K, and only 5Nuken is in 4K. Now that's like 3 different Ks in MMR difference. So what do we do? What is the most stupidest thing that people do is that they set the positions, like the first position that is the carry, they give to the best player, or they give the mid to the best player, and they set up the people with the least knowledge and capabilities to the supports. What that does is generally it's not the right thing. It's the most logical maybe if you think of the MMR, but it's absolutely terrible if you don't know the players and what they're capable. What's more important is what the players can actually play the best. What do they actually play? And the easiest thing that I do when I'm in a random team is I just talk to the people and I ask them what they want to play, what are they best at, what are their favorite heroes. Just three things: what do you want to play, what can you play, and what are your best heroes in that row. So the first thing, when you're in a random team, and the biggest mistakes is just you go in a game and you make a draft without ever talking to your teams. You make some draft as a captain and you get your logic, but your team has no idea what your logic is. So your team can't actually do your game plan. And the game plan is very important. It's a lot of people think that you should just pick good heroes and then you win game, but that's not how it works.
It's too late.
So the most important thing is first to declare the positions, because if you first try to decide what heroes they should play, then you are getting confused, because first you need to declare the positions for your players, and after you declare the positions based on they telling you, for example, three people are telling you I want to play carry and mid, and two people are telling you I can play offlane carry mid, and there's like one person tell you that I can play support. And based on that what they're telling you, what are they best at and what they want to play, you need to choose where to put them, and you need to try to choose that very fast, like especially like when you're doing you should be able to do this in top 5 minutes. If 5 minutes you should be able to declare the positions and figure out a game plan. And it's kind of hard, it's really hard, but if you don't do it you end up giving heroes to the players that they can't play and they don't know what they're doing. So the most important thing is to give your players heroes and strategies that they can actually pull off. Don't ever give your players things that they can do, because they will fail them and you lose the game. So
Mm.
first things, declare positions based on what they want to play and what they can play. Everyone wants to play core, but you can't give a core to everyone, so you need to make your choice as a captain based again on their skill and their will what to play. But the higher the player, the higher is the skill of the player, you can assume he can play better also other positions. So don't be afraid to put some of the high skill players on our position, because you can have more trust in him that he will take care of that position better than the less skilled players. For example, I'm gonna give the actual example with you, Puerto, that uh, I often tell people that you do a very fine carry, but you do pretty bad support sometimes. And I
Yeah,
remember one in-house when somebody actually put you as a carry. I don't know if you were on my team or on someone else's team, and you did just fine just because you played that hero and you knew what you were doing.
yeah. No,
And
I
what if,
I had really nice. I played very good as support as lion, as a, and I kicked ass as lion. I had almost, I was a support, but I had most of kill as a carry.
right? So you know what you're good at. You know what you're good at, and that's what you should share as a player. At this moment, you need to keep calm, and when your captain is asking you what you're best at and so on, you just need to wait for your turn and tell them which are your favorite positions, what do you play the most, and after he declares your position, you need to tell him which heroes you're really good at in that position. If he have set you as a support, you tell him just my line is very good. Maybe my next hero is like example. You just tell him what are your best heroes, Lion, Crystal Maiden, or whatever. Just line like at least three heroes, and
Yeah,
that's all
because
you
I
gotta do.
saw as Venge, I was always banned, almost always.
Yeah. And the same thing is like if he chooses like if like when I personally right now know that you do pretty good carry if you can play it, and I have more faith you putting you as a carry than as a support, and I would put someone else as support in which I have more faith in him as a support player, for example, because it makes sense to me, because I've seen you playing carry and I've seen you play support. But if I haven't seen you, I just need to trust you, sort of.
Yeah, I know.
And for example, what I did with this team is I basically decided to put the highest skilled player mid, because mid is a very important position. Generally, you just want a high skilled player mid, because he needs to be able to take care of the mid lane on his own, and he may get support from some of the supports from the fourth position, but if you want to put a good player in a core position, that will be mid first and then the carry. So I set up Big Pun as offlane because I know he does good offlane. That's what he told me. I set up the best player in mid. I put Kiske, who I never played with, for the safe carry, and I played whatever is left for me. I played support fifth position.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, bullshit. I played fourth position as a bounty hunter,
Yeah, you
and
played
Apache
as a
played the support. And I remember that the Apache told me that he can play support and he wanted to play support. That's why I put him there. If he would have told me something else, I would have put him somewhere else. So again, the most important thing is, yes, everyone wants to play core, but people can also play other things. So as a player, you need to learn at least 2 or 3 positions just to be able to play something different if you can't take your position. Because when you're in a solo queue, you can choose to play whatever, right? But if you're playing in a team, you need to be able to play more than 2 things. And even if you're not that good at it, you should know how to play them. At least 3 heroes. That's all it takes. You have to learn 3 heroes for every position. That's the best case. But anyway, so as a captain, the best choice with random teams is to figure out what your players can do best, and sort of based on that, it's not like you picking, oh, I'm gonna pick just your best heroes. Like, you see, I asked them which are the best heroes, but my team is not just picking their best heroes. I mean, this was sort of a plan. We have generally Omni is just a good support. He can give BKB to Sven and to Tiny, which is very good. Wind Ranger can set up stuff. Bounty Hunter is just a good fourth position. It's not like I just picked the best of everyone. Bounty Hunter is not my best. I just picked it because I thought it was good in that game. But based on their best heroes,
you had
you need
no
to
reason.
form a lineup. Basically, you just need to work with their best players, their best positions, and their best heroes, and form a lineup based on that. Because if you try to form up some lineup from yourself, for example, if you would go back to all my games on the Battle Cup, you can see the lost games.
Yeah.
And like the first lost game, what the captain this time, the second round of the Battle Cup, we put the captain as the most skilled player. It was 5 Nukem, and I like him. He plays very well, but he make the same mistake as a captain as most people do. He doesn't ask his team what he can do. He just picks the heroes and bans the heroes as he wishes. The bans sometimes were heroes that everyone hated. Again, this is terrible. Don't ban things that everyone hates. Try to develop a strategy and ban the heroes that will harm your strategy. Never try to play the strategy. They never try to always try to put your strategy before the enemy strategy, because that's the best way to do it if you're not a real team and you don't know how things are going to go. So have your strategy strong and don't care that much about the enemy strategy, except just with bans. Like, for example, he didn't saw the Draw Rangers lineup. It was a powerful lineup. There is their first pick as Draw Ranger. He couldn't have seen it, but after they picked Draw Ranger Vengeful Spirit, he could have banned Beastmaster, which is also picked in that lineup very often. So what he does is he picks random heroes. He doesn't know what we're. He didn't ask us, even though we played like 3 games together. He didn't ask us what we're good at. He didn't set up the lines pre-order the game. None of that stuff. So he bans Axe and he bans actually 2 kind of defense, hard to kill heroes that can jump on you with blink daggers. Fine, and then he picks Mirana Koto. Now, Mirana is the mid, fine. Koto, I dislike. Like, nobody could play Koto. I can play Koto, but I don't like him. So, I'm not the best Koto player. So, I'm going to be like 50% quality of Koto in that game. So, I won't perform very well at all. And he didn't ask me about that or anything. He just picks it. And after that, eventually, he picks, okay, a good offlane. That's fine. Good hero for Big Pun. He likes it. Then he picks Shadow Demon. Now, Shadow Demon and Koto are essentially first positions. They're both of those heroes are played as first position, so we end up with lineup that doesn't have a real fifth position. So we kind of screwed because Shadow Shaman needs to go and gank, sort of. Or he sticks to trial lane and everyone is underfarmed. And like Koto PL is a good lineup, but they can survive on their own. They don't need another support. And you end up with the same 5 positions, and one of them can farm. It's just a bad idea. But the worst problem was not what he picked or his general idea of the game, is that it's just that he doesn't know whether people can play those heroes or not. And he doesn't share his plan with his team. Like, I don't know what he was going for. I understand Koto and PL, or that's a good combo. That's a dual combo, that's it. I understand Mirana is a good mid. I understand Timbersaw is a good offlane. I understand the combo with Mirana and Shadow Demon, but you still stuck with 2 fifth positions, so it's just 2 heroes that will be essentially the same thing.
That's how he's going to play. Huh?
And in the next game, he sort of does a similar thing. Like this is a WAST in the starting of the Battle Cup, just the first game. So right after that, we went for another Battle Cup, and he makes the same mistakes. He doesn't ask his team again what they want to play and what people are best at. He just picks good heroes, and he picks Disruptor, good hero, Invoker, good hero. No, that's the enemy team, sorry. So what he picks is mid Puck for him. That's good. Maybe a very good hero for him. He likes playing him. Good. Now he picks Wuna, hard carry. Fine. Good offlane, Clockwork, okay. But he ends up picking again 2 supports that are played as 5th position, Lion and Witch Doctor. Now, neither Lion or Witch Doctor are able to get a mech, so who's gonna get the mech? No one. Of course, he doesn't want to go for a mech on Puck. He could, but there's no point, because he's the best player and there's no point for going a mech with Puck. So neither Lion or Witch Doctor can farm a mech. So we end up not having a mech at all, because you have the same 2 heroes with the same position 5. They can't farm, they just support the safe lane. So that just bad choice on picking the same type of heroes to do essentially the same job. And again, the worst mistake is not talking with your players, not knowing what they're good at, and just picking heroes which you think as a captain that they work out, but they could only work out if your players can play them and know what you're aiming for. Like, if your players can't play them, they play them a couple of times, but they don't know exactly what they're doing, they're not gonna be playing at 100%, they're gonna be playing at 50%. So essentially, It's like you're playing, like you thought you had a 3K player and suddenly you have a 2K player. You thought you had
Yeah,
like
I
a
know, I
4K
know.
player, you have a 3K player. That's the problem. Because nobody, no team can play everything. No person can play everything. There's
User
always,
disconnected from your channel.
okay, we just lost the only person in the academy, but I'm still doing this to record it and show it to you guys on YouTube. Whoever cares, the essence of this tutorial is that if you're a player, you need to be able to play more than one position, or else you can't play in a team, because your captain can't set you every time in the same position if you're in a random team. The only way that you can play the same position every game is if you find your own team and just play that. But essentially, if you see the pro scene, you can constantly see how people are shifting positions, right? So that stuff will happen all the time. So what's most important, if you want to play in a random teams and in game nights, you need to know at least 3 positions. So captains can just set you somewhere. And you don't need to know all the heroes about those positions. Just know the best heroes at this current time, at this current patch for that position. It's not so hard to learn, like, what, 9 heroes? How they're played? I don't think it's that hard. And again, it's all skill dependent. But if you're a captain, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to have a player that is maybe of lesser skill on a hero that he can't play at all? Or do you want to have him on a hero that he can play? I think it's a second. So the main problem in game nights that I saw was people just completely failing in their hero playstyle because they didn't know how to play them, because they were forced to play that hero from their captain. So the captain is a very important role in these events. You need to understand, like, if you're taking that role, you have a serious task in front of you, and you need to respect your players. You need to also figure out what they're best at and try to let them do that, but also figure out who should play what position. And if somebody can't play a position, then put them in a position that he can play and put a more skilled player in a position that nobody can play, because you have no other choice. You don't want to end up in a team in which one of the positions have no clue what they're doing. Essentially, then you're playing 5v6. That's not good. So be more understanding when you're captain. This doesn't concern my skill or your skill. I'm a 3K player. I'm not that good. Alright? So how come that my team, as me as a captain, wins a battle cup, and as a 4K player as a captain, loses a battle cups, even 2, from the first round? Well, it's because I had faith in my team, and I've had faith in what they're best at. While the other captain, he just picked what he wanted to. So that's that. I mean, I don't think there's much to it. So what is very helpful, again, is we should choose captains wisely for our events, our in-house events, and the players need to also contribute by being able to play more than 2 roles, because everyone can play mid and carry. I mean, everyone can. If you're not even playing just support for your entire life, you can play mid and carry. Maybe you're not the best mid and carry, but you can play them. So it's the other roles that are really hard for most people to learn.